The pitch is looped towards shortstop. Petrocelli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. And it's pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
Of course, Petrocelli is MI.
I cannot believe that Zappola did not put me in the top 10 of all players.
Let me tell you something, all right? Not even, just barely in the top 15, Mickey. Just barely in the top 15. Joe, what are your thoughts? Real quickly. Yes or no? Top 15? Joe? It's Joe? No,
I'm sorry, guys. I got Mantle in the top 15. I do.
Okay, Derek.
And I had to argue with you.
Yeah, okay. I just want to hear Derek, top 15.
Well, I'd like to thank Stephen Lane for skipping his bikini wax to come on the show today. And also, but I would say the Mick is real close to top 10. I would have to really. Okay. There's pictures too. People forget the pictures that were great.
No. We're not. We eliminated pictures. We're not including pictures. We're going to talk about it. Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Petrocelli is MIA. Tried to get on, having issues again. Lou, you're going to have to just do something about this. Go to his house every week. Just fix the problem, because he is technologically.
There's Stephen Lane.
There he is. All right. Before we start, and a couple of weeks ago, we'll talk about this. A couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now, Joe was on the show, Joe T and Lou, and I made this statement that Mickey Mantle was overrated in the sense that he is definitely not a top 10 ball player. And Blassie was on the fence, I believe, Lou, right?
He's overrated. I don't know where he lands on the top 15.
Right.
Again,
so Lou and I, we were kind of on the same page. And actually, Tomasulo, you were kind of on the same page with us, too, when we talked about it.
I didn't say Mantle was overrated.
Right.
I just didn't think he was top 10. And, okay. So let me piggyback off that. Everyone is tooting their horn about Ohtani being better than Babe Ruth, which is probably the biggest joke on the planet. God rest his soul. Don Rickles would love that one. Ohtani's lifetime OPS is 955. 955. Mickey Mantle's lifetime OPS is 977. So the guy who they think is better than Babe Ruth is 22 points lower than Mantle, and that Mantle OPS would have been 1,000 plus.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys this question.
No,
Joe.
let me finish, Tom. Had it not been for him playing out the last 3 years when he should have retired a lot earlier because he couldn't catch up to a good fastball anymore. Mickey Mantle was supernatural. He was great. I don't think he slips in the top 10. You and I spoke about that, Tom, and we could talk about the players that have to be placed above him. Okay?
Well, now, Louis, you're an analytics guy. I mean, that's what you do for a living through your Sirius radio show. How important is OPS? How important really is OPS?
Well, it's all context. I mean, this is the problem. This is the big problem with Major League Baseball in general, is that we all assume that the game has been the same from 1890 to 2026, and it hasn't. And that's why we have to define this conversation. Are we doing the cornfield argument where Babe Ruth is walking out of the cornfield and Mickey Mantle's walking out of the cornfield? Or are we doing Mickey Mantle born in 2020? Game is bigger, faster, stronger now. The pitching is much better. Ohtani's not hitting against insurance salesmen in the offseason. there's a lot of arguments that can be made both ways. It's a matter of, again, you got to disabuse yourself of the myth that baseball has been the same from 1890 to 2026, because it hasn't. Just simply
okay,
hasn't.
Attorney Lane, you have the floor.
All right. Here's the way that I look at it. And I agree to a certain extent with what Lou said. I think it's all subjective. I mean, people will cite WAR, people will cite OPS. I looked up a quote by Bill James. You all know who he is, because I remembered that he had said something that I felt was applicable to this situation. And he said, math should never be used as a substitute for thought. People use war to try to end what would otherwise be interesting discussions, and it's annoying. So in the end, no one is ever going to convince me that Mantle is not in the top 10 any more than I'm going to be able to convince somebody that he is in the top 10 if they don't believe it. I can give you specific reasons why I put Mantle in the top 10 if you want to hear them, which are separate and apart from WAR or OPS. And again, I agree with Joe. Mantle's OPS, as I understand it, is number one among all center fielders in history, and that there are only 3 players in the history of baseball who had a higher OPS than Mantle, and that was Ruth, Mays, and Bonds.
Ted Williams too, Steve.
I'm sorry, and Williams. And like Derek had said sometime earlier, maybe before we got on the air, there are multiple lists. There are lists that have Mantle in the top 10. There are lists that have him outside the top 10. The ones that I happen to look at, I looked at ESPN, I looked at Major League Baseball, I looked at Sabre, I looked at Baseball Almanac. They all have essentially the same 7 or 8 guys. They got Ruth, they have Mays, they have Aaron, Cobb, Williams, Gehrig, Musial, Mantle. And some lists would put Bonds in there. Some lists would put Chris Speaker in there.
Wagner and Bonds have to be in there. Bonds especially.
Right. You didn't mention Wagner. You didn't. What about Rogers?
I'm telling you. You're asking me. I'm telling you what
these lists
shows.
Every list has Bonds.
If you take all these players, Ruth, Mays, Aaron, Cobb, Williams, I don't care who you take any players you want. None of them have the combination. They may have one or more, but they don't have the combination of what Mantle had. They didn't have 7 World Series titles. They didn't have 12 World Series appearances. They didn't have 20 times on the All-Star team. They didn't win the Triple Crown. They weren't switch hitters. They don't hold the World Series records for walks, for homers, for extra base hits, for RBIs, for runs scored, for total bases, plus 3 MVPs. Plus, he was the greatest combination of power and speed that has ever existed. 3.1 to first base, the 500-plus foot home runs he created, the tape measure home runs. You can look at all the other players. I don't care. Ruth might have been more powerful. He wasn't as fast. Mays had better statistics, and Mantle even admitted that Mays had a better career. He wasn't as fast. Ricky Henderson might have been as fast, wasn't as powerful. But Mantle was the combination. He was the most feared hitter in his prime. From 1951 to 1964, he walked about 1,700 times. He played 2,400 games. That's about a walk every 1.3 games. He was clutch. Jim Thome has the most walk-off home runs in his career, 13. Took him 22 years. Mantle had 12 in 18 years. And he was clutch in the World Series. I just went through all his stats. When he retired, he was third behind only Mays and Ruth. I mean, what else can you ask for? That was when 500 home runs meant something. No steroids, no juiced up baseball. And there are guys that have more home runs. You can't tell me that Thome, Stosa, McGuire, Manny Ramirez, Reggie Jackson, Rafael Palmeiro, they all have more home runs. They're not close to Mantle. He, Mays, and maybe Gehrig are the only 5-tool players in any top 10 list that you look at. Average, hitting for power, speed, home runs, and fielding. Mays, Mantle, Gehrig. Ruth didn't have speed. Aaron didn't have speed. Cobb didn't have power. Williams didn't have speed. Musial didn't have speed. And the last thing that makes Mantle unique, well, there's a couple of things, but the thing that makes him unique and sets him apart from every single player that has ever played Major League Baseball is the amount of pressure that they put him under when he started to play. Nobody had that pressure. 18 years old, and they said he's Ruth, he's Gehrig, he's DiMaggio. Bill Dickey said it, Casey Stengel said it. The kid is 18 years old, played in front of 500 people in Commerce, Oklahoma in March of 1951. And in April of 1951, he's playing in front of 55,000 people against the Boston Red Sox on opening day. In the city that is the center of everything in the 1950s and 60s. I don't care if it's sports, entertainment, fashion, you name it. New York City was the center of everything. He was the best player on the best team in what was then America's game. And for the first time in history, people had access to television. The Yankees were the game of the week. 12 out of 14 years, Mantle in October is in the World Series. He's on TV. He was baseball. He was the symbol of baseball from 51 to 68. He was a marketing machine. You could open up a magazine and see an advertisement with Mantle smoking a cigarette and telling people to smoke Winston's. And 10 pages later, this advertisement of Mantle telling kids not to smoke. I mean, he was everywhere. So,
okay.
Nobody
Judgment,
else had
Stephen
that type
Lane.
of pressure.
Judgment, Stephen Lane.
Mays is in San Francisco. Nobody's watching his games. Williams is on a team that's rarely in contention. Ruth, Gehrig, and Cobb were not on TV. There was hardly any media other than newspaper. Aaron is playing in an Atlanta.
Wait. All right. So let me ask you this question.
Let me ask you a question. Another half hour.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question.
Let everybody else speak.
You're making sense. You're making sense. A lot of what you say. But let's switch. Let's switch Mickey Mantle with Stan Musial. Okay. Let's switch organizations. Okay, Mantle's whole career is with St. Louis. Musial's whole career is with the Yankees. You're basing a lot of what you're saying. You're basing it on the venue he played in. Great player, there's no doubt. But the market that he played in, he happened to play in the greatest market in the history of the game. There's no doubt. Had he played in St. Louis his entire career, and Musial played his entire career in New York, there'd be a different argument, Steve.
No, well, it would be a different argument, but it would still be favorable to Mantle because he wouldn't have been under the pressure that he was under for 20 years. Musial had no pressure. There was nobody pressuring Musial to be as good as DiMaggio, Ruth, and Gehrig all in one. And he was on a team that was hardly ever in the World Series or in the limelight. And St. Louis was the westernmost team in America in the 1950s until there was expansion. Nobody cared about Musial. If he had moved to New York and had the pressure that Mantle had from age 18, maybe he wouldn't have performed as well.
So where do you have Mantle ranked in your top 10?
Number 10.
You have him at number 10. So
number 10. By his own admission, he was not as good as any of the players in front of him. He acknowledged.
Okay, so
all
just to reiterate, you have Ruth in front of him. You have Gehrig in front, and not in any order, by the way. You have Ruth, Gehrig, Musial, Mays, Williams, Bonds, Aaron.
No, I didn't say Bonds.
Bonds gets an asterisk. He's a cheater.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
I mean, look, it's Ruth.
And I agree with you.
Ruth, Mays, Aaron, Cobb, Williams, Gehrig, Musial are in front of Mantle. That's 7 players. You got room for one more to put in front of him.
So what about
But
Jimmy
I didn't
Fox?
include any steroid players.
All right. So what about Jimmy Fox?
No.
Joe?
I wouldn't. I mean,
Joe, what are your thoughts?
Fox batted 330 something lifetime. I don't know. I'm hard pressed to put Mantle over Fox. Mantle was the better athlete. Fox couldn't run, like Steve said. He was a first baseman like Derek. But, I mean, Fox's lifetime numbers places him as one of the top 3 right-handed hitters in baseball history.
And do you? I mean,
It's tough. That's a coin toss.
Do you leave out Hornsby and do you leave out Wagner?
I don't think
asking
you leave
you
out
guys.
Wagner, but Steven said you had one room for one more player. I still think you have to put Bonds in, but you guys don't want to.
No, I mean, I kind of agree with what Joe and Steve say about Bonds. I know he had a great career before the steroids, but I mean, how can you not have Wagner and how can you not have Hornsby in that top 10?
Hornsby's the greatest right-handed hitter in baseball history, bar none. The guy batted 400 over 6 seasons, consecutive seasons. I mean, come on, guys. And Wagner, again, now we go back to what Lou was saying with the cornfield. And it has to be taken into account. Wagner's peak was the turn of the century through the early 1910s.
All right.
So
And then
how do we compare that to a dead ball era to Mantle playing in the 50s and 60s?
All right. And I'm going to throw one more name at you. Rico, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hey.
How did they get on? How did they get on?
We don't know.
Look,
Wait a minute. We're in the middle of one subject. I want you to pay attention.
I have been hearing you guys. You're all crazy except for the Mantle. Mantle was the best. He had.
All right. I'm going to throw one more name out. Wait, I want to throw one more name out, Steve.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, this guy's OPS is not as good as Mantle's, but all his other numbers are better, I think. Frank Robinson. No one's mentioned Frank Robinson.
Solid player.
What?
Where do you rate? I mean, are you saying that Mantle is better
he's
than
not
Robinson?
better than Mantle. Look.
Okay, let me make a point here.
You got put a man on third base. You got to get him home. The other side has a choice of whether to bring in a left-handed pitcher who throws sidearm or a right-handed pitcher who throws sidearm. You got Mickey Mantle on your bench and any other player you want to name. And whoever you put up there, other than Mantle, they can change the pitcher to the other side. The only guy that you're covered both ways is a switch hitter, Mickey Mantle. So, you know, I mean, the guy played with one arm and one leg, playing for an organization that even after he won the Triple Crown in 56 and after he won the MVP hitting 365 and 57, offered him a pay cut in 1958 because his 57 season wasn't as good as his 56. They followed him with detectives. They threatened to trade him, and he's playing under that pressure, plus all that pressure from 1961. There's nobody else in the top 10 that had that kind of pressure. And in 67 and 68, when he was hitting 245 and 237, the lineup is Horace Clarke, Charlie Smith, Gene Michael, Elvio Rodriguez,
like
Roy White. They didn't have to throw him a strike. They did not have to throw him a strike. He still had 107 walks in 67 and 108 walks in 68 when they knew that he wasn't himself anymore.
All right, listen up.
You know,
Can I just make one point about context again? Can I just make one point about context again? Because we're citing a lot of statistics here. Last week on the All-Star Memories Moments, we talked about Juan Marichal. And the narrative had something about Juan Marichal going 16 innings in a game, and his opposing starting pitcher went 15 innings in a game. That's about 7 at-bats for a hitter against a pitcher in a single game. Can you imagine today's hitters these days if they were seeing a pitcher for 16 innings?
They'd be teeing off on him, is what you're saying.
Completely different game. It's a completely different game.
Oh, that's a good point.
Lou, I'm going to come right back at you and
The
say
pitcher would never go that long. That's three
pitcher would
outings
never
for him.
go that
16.
long.
All right, well, hold on, guys.
No,
Listen.
hold on.
There's a reason. There's a reason why.
When it's Marichal and Warren Spahn, if they're dotting knees in black with their stuff, I rather face a elite pitcher of unknown quantity than Marichal and Spahn after 20 innings.
In the 16th inning?
Good pitching stops good hitting.
All right, listen up.
Joe, you think they didn't make any mistakes?
Of course, Rico.
Well,
everybody
just
makes
saying.
mistakes. Even Tom makes mistakes.
I don't
Not
know.
many. All right, listen up, guys. I want to take a break. When we come back, Rico's in the house now. Rico played against all of these guys. Well, not all of them, but he played against a lot of them. Rico, we want to get your take, your honest to goodness take on Mickey Mantle as a ball player and who in your mind you thought was better. Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
In 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. Joe Tomasulo's in the house. Derek Grady, Joe from Goldin, Derek from Heritage, Rico from Nashua, our good friend Steve Lane from New Orleans, Louisiana. And by the way, a little programming note. This is really the first of two shows. Next week, I'm going to be in Florida, so we have these gentlemen, with the exception of Steve, are going to be with us also for next week's show. So it's going to be kind of fun. It's Derek and Joe week. Let's put it that way. They're going to be here this week, and they're going to be here next week. All right, Rico, you played with or against guys like Stan Musial, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron.
Well,
hold on.
I'm not. I didn't play against them. Yeah, go ahead.
Roberto Clemente, Mickey Mantle, Johnny Bench, Mike Schmidt. I mean, you played against a lot of them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
training it. But let's
go ahead. Where does this guy?
Wait a second. Are you talking about an all-around? You're talking about fielding, running, hitting,
all-around player.
Average, okay,
all around.
Most of those guys are not five. You know, they couldn't run. Frank Robinson was not a great fielder.
You guys put too much emphasis on that. I'm going to tell you why.
Well, I asked you what it's just hitting.
Babe Ruth is the greatest player that ever lived. Are we all in agreement there?
No.
Okay. Well, Louis isn't, but I think the rest of us are. Okay. Willie Mays was a 5-tool player. Okay. Who's the better ball player? Willie Mays or Babe Ruth? So I understand what you guys are saying about this 5-tool stuff, but it's not the end-all, be-all. It really isn't.
No? Really?
I don't think it is.
Well, if you're comparing guys, how can you say that? Mantle, Robinson, Clemente was a tremendous he wasn't necessarily a home run hitter, obviously, but he was a great athlete. And so Mays to me was the best all around. Okay, fielding, running, hitting, and all that. Mantle, to me, if he was healthy, he would have hit over 600 home runs.
That's one statistic, though, Rick. That's one. Yeah,
but he would have been a great fielder. The guy was a great talent. Mays,
so where do you place him?
Now, Aaron was a great hitter. He was not mediocre, but I can't think of another word, but he was not a great fielder. Let's put it that way. And he didn't run as well as Mays and Mantle. So, I mean, it's very hard because of the different eras, the different situations and all that stuff. So it's very hard. But
I mean, I
put Mantle in the top 10 now.
You do?
Oh, yeah. You gotta. For power, this guy hit balls in the old Yankee Stadium in center field, 467, and he hit it into that black covering there, a number of times. Plus the one he almost hit out of the Yankee Stadium. That's power wise.
All right.
Again, that's all our it's who
listen, I definitely don't want to get into an argument with a litigator because Stephen was actually pretty damn good with his points, and that went on for a while, but I was engaged, believe it or not. I didn't think I would be. Stephen, kudos to you. You came prepared, or you were reading off a script. I don't know what it was, but you're very good.
I have the same thing in common that Rico has, and it's why he agreed with me that Mantle's in the top 10. We have, I would say, an enhanced level of intelligence as a result of having been born and raised in Brooklyn. I mean, there's two things. When you're born and raised in Brooklyn, before you say mother Steven. Or father, or I'm Joe too, before you say mama or dada, you say two things. Number one, Mickey Mantle's in the top 10. And number two, let's go get a slice. And that's it. That's your language that you're born with.
And Enrico's played with, look, obviously, I totally agree with Lou. There's different eras, and it's not fair back in the early 20th century.
Well, Lou's got Ohtani. He's got Ohtani in the top 3 or top 2.
Does he really?
Well, we haven't had a good ball player around here since 1970. So I don't understand the argument.
Well, we have. His name was Barry Bonds, but everybody's going to shit on, whatever we can say on the radio for steroids. But also, he was playing against people that weren't caught, and he was playing against pitchers that were on the juice, probably, most of his life. But either way, let's just say what we had. I don't know how you don't have Mantle in the top 10, basically, with everything. And where would he be if he didn't step in a storm drain?
He was
like, where would he be? How about where would he be if he didn't live in a bar with Billy Martin and Whitey Ford?
Well, Ruth was not in the look.
4 a.m. But still.
I know, but these guys are superhuman that you could party like Ruth or Mantle and still do what they did.
But I think Rico made a good point about the stadium. Yankee Stadium, like I said, is 461 to dead center, and then 407 to either left or right center, and 400 plus the other way. You look at Aaron played in a tiny stadium in Atlanta. I'll give you an example.
Well, let me ask the tough question here.
Okay, Clete
Who
Boyer
comes out of the top 10 for Mantle?
Clete Boyer.
Good point.
When he played for the Yankees, averaged about 15 homers and 50 to 60 RBIs a year. Yankees trade him to Atlanta. His first year in Atlanta, he hits 26 homers and 96 RBIs. He doubles everything, just changing the stadium. So, if Mantle played in a different stadium, it would have been different. But I can't go there. He played where he played. But
that was a shot.
But Steven, you have to understand, Mantle batted lefty a lot more than righty.
That's correct.
There were a lot more right-handed pitches,
and that was one hell of a shot. Field.
The short porch in right field.
Right.
That was a huge advantage to Mantle. Now, as opposed to DiMaggio, who was hitting balls into Yellowstone Park from the right-handed batter's box. So,
Mantle hit him. They hit him.
I'll give you another.
They hit him any ball.
Give you another subjective factor. The lineup. Mantle batted third in the lineup until 1960. When Maris came in, they moved Maris to number 3, knowing that they'd have to pitch to Maris. They would not walk him to pitch to Mantle. Yep. So at least 61 times in 1961, Mantle came up to bat with nobody on base, and he still hit 54 home runs and hit over 300, had 100 plus RBIs. So when you changing the batting order can change a result.
Louis, go to your question.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask the question here because all the arguments about Mantle, we're talking one of the great ball players of all time.
There's no doubt
about it at this point. But I guess it has to be reduced to which of the top 10 players comes out for Mantle. Who's currently rated above Mantle that is wrong?
Well, to Tom's point, Lou, Wagner and Hornsby have to come out. And that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's it. I have a problem with that. I mean, Bonds is not in my list. I put Bonds off to the side. But you know what else?
Wait a second. Why are they coming out? Why do those two have to come out?
Why does Bonds have to come out?
On my list, on my list, they haven't come out. On my list, they're still in. Another guy we haven't spoken about is, I know you guys are going to come after me in this one, but look at Albert Pujols' numbers. Look at his numbers. Are you freaking kidding me? Listen, his OPS was like 91 or whatever it was. 703 home runs, 3,300 hits. How can you not have Pujols in the top 10? Explain that.
My response to that is Pujols is one of the best right-handed hitters of all time. There's no doubt about it. So do we have to talk about Gary Sheffield? Do we have to talk about Manny at this point? Again.
Yeah, but their numbers don't match up with his, though, Lou.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they don't. They don't even come close, Lou. 700 home runs, 3,300 hits. Manny and Sheffield don't even come close to that. Point being is that how can you leave a guy like Pujols out of the top 10?
What was his average?
Steve Lane, 296, something like that. Steve Lane, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, look, can you compare Pujols and Mantle in terms of their relative speed? Can you compare them in terms of their defense? Can you compare them in terms of what they meant to their particular team and teammates? You have certain players like Cobb. I wouldn't say that his teammates loved and respected him. And you could say the same thing about other players in the top 10. Mantle's teammates, they loved him. They respected him. They needed him in the lineup. Even if he had one arm and one leg, to a man, they would say that when he was in the lineup, they felt that they were going to win. I don't know that you could say that necessarily of Pujols, despite his statistics. Like I said, Mantle's last 2 or 3 years, he was basically signing because the Yankees needed him to put fannies in the seats. They offered him $100,000 a year, which was just about the biggest contract at the time. And he played. Like Joe said, he probably should have stopped, but he didn't. And then you'd really be having this argument because he wouldn't have had 500 home runs. He wouldn't have the statistics, but there's more to statistics. If you look at from 1951 to 1964, that's his prime. Compare that prime to any of these other players, and he is in the top 10 for sure. And he always said Musial, Mays, the guys that took care of themselves, all told, were better than him. He acknowledged it, but that in his prime, he was as good, if not better, than any of them.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys a question, starting with Rico. Rico, DiMaggio or Mantle?
Oh, tough.
You got to answer. You got to pick one.
I'll take Mantle.
Okay. Derek, DiMaggio or Mantle?
Sorry.
I mean, I would say Mantle. I just don't know as much as, about DiMaggio other than great player, but
he was great. Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah, tough.
DiMaggio 150%, because peak value, I may be selecting DiMaggio as the player in baseball history to start my team with.
Steve Lane?
Oh, I mean, Mantle. Mantle's in the top 10. I don't put DiMaggio in the top 10.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So I got to throw this in, Tom, and I hit you with this all the time. DiMaggio didn't swing and miss. He didn't miss the baseball. And he wore, and Lou, don't tell me about 21st century, 100 miles an hour, because DiMaggio wore out Bob Feller, who threw 98 to 101 and had one of the top 5 filthiest curveballs in baseball history. DiMaggio wore him out. He was phenomenal. He struck out 20 to 30 times a year. So let's go back to what Steve said before. Man on third base, less than 2 outs. I'd rather have DiMaggio up more than anybody in baseball history. Steve? He didn't miss the baseball. Tom, your hero, your boy, greatest hitter ever, Ted Williams, bluntly said DiMaggio was the greatest ball player I ever saw. Mickey Mantle was the greatest athletic ball player I've ever seen. Those comments came from both Willie Mays and Ted Williams.
Steve?
Well, I could tell you what Ted said about Nomar Garcia-Parra, that he was another Joe DiMaggio.
So your question,
that's after he had the
wait
stroke.
A second. Rico, so you're questioning.
Rico, I'm just quoting your boy.
No. I thought DiMaggio was great. It's so hard to pick. You know what I mean? I can't disagree with any of you because all these players were great players.
All right.
And
there's one last thing that puts Mantle again, separates him from everybody else. His last at bat. Okay, he's up against Jim Lonborg, September 1968.
Oh, Jesus.
He had hit his 536th home run against Lonborg the weekend before in Yankee Stadium. So he was wearing Lonborg out. He comes up and he says to himself, look, not going to embarrass Lonborg. I'm going to just give Rico a gift, because I remember Rico when Rico was a rookie and he was at first base. He was a little embarrassed to talk to me. I'm going to do him a favor. I'm going to pop this one up to him. He's going to catch my last ball, and someday he'll turn that into $1 million. And
what the hell did he do with it?
Don't say it. No, come on.
Hey, Rico,
don't remind me.
Before we let Steve go, in the book, This was a suggestion that Ellen made, and we're really thinking about it. That section that we're doing on lost treasures. There's a section called Lost Treasures. Like,
I'm gonna headline it, huh?
Well, we're thinking about including that baseball in the chapter on Lost Treasures. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
All right, Steve Lane, you convinced me to move Mantle from 15th to 12th. Okay?
It's irrelevant to me what you think. You had your lobotomy, and there's no hope for you. You were the one that told me months ago that Boston was going to win their division and possibly get to the World Series.
It's
You weren't
early
talking
in
about the Celtics, were you?
Excuse me. It's early in the season. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Lou, help me here, please.
No, I can't help.
The only reason the Phillies
help
hired Mattingly as a manager was to keep Boston from getting him.
All right. There's a couple of flaws in the Red Sox.
Cora will be, if he wanted to be a manager right now.
No,
Cora with Philly.
He turned the job down.
He got a phone call like half an hour later.
Yeah. I know he did. Amazing. All right, Steve Lane. Obviously, we always have a lot of fun with you. Before we let you go, how about
well presented, Steve? Absolutely well presented.
Yes, a little plug in your book. Everybody knows. I don't think there's anybody in the country that has a greater personal Mickey Mantle collection than Mr. Lane. And how about your book, the one that's in the Hall of Fame, next to our book?
Actually, it's the you can only get it at the Hall of Fame now because I asked Heritage to send me some copies that I'd given them, and they said they're all out. So got to go to the Hall of Fame to get it.
All right. Steve, as always, man, we love having you.
Thanks, Steve.
You bring a lot to the table. And go Yankees. How's that?
Man, I'll tell you. Definitely had a lobotomy.
You just jinxed them.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We've got Goldin. We've got Heritage. There's a lot going on with their auction houses. We've got some great auctions coming up. Petrocelli is in the house almost on time. We go almost on time, but we're happy. We're very, very happy.
Yeah, right. Going nuts with the computers. I'll tell you
All right,
now.
we're going to take a quick break. Hang in there. We'll be right back. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Okay, we are back. Petroselli's in the house.
Yeah.
Joe, Derek,
all right.
Lou. Couple of things we're going to talk about, and then we're going to talk about these fabulous companies. By the way, Derek, it was really nice to see you and Joe at the National, not at the National, at the Wilmington show. And it was nice to have my picture taken with you.
Oh.
And I just wanted to show our audience. It was a great picture, and I have it framed now.
Throwing dots at it, right?
It was a dare.
I have it framed.
I thought it was you, Reek.
In my bedroom.
Look at my employee behind us. There's Pedro.
I know. I saw the look on his face.
Oh, jeez.
WTF. What are you
Tom,
doing?
what day was that picture taken?
That was right after I saw you, Joe. Right after we saw you, that same day.
Friday,
went down
right?
to see Eric. I mean, Derek. I mean, he just couldn't control himself.
I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the memo on dressing the same.
Joe, it would have been a better picture if Joe was on the other side. Both kissing.
Rico, it must have been DEI Friday.
It was.
Yeah. Thanks, Louis. Thanks for posting that. All right. Before we get into the auctions, it's time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us each week by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to collectrea.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. This question, Rico, came to us from our good friend Michael Variali, the disc jockey from Long Island. And his question, actually, Rico, you made fun of it, but it's actually a good question. What type of, like today, when you go into a locker room, there's all kinds of music playing.
Yeah, not today.
What type of
phones
music?
on?
Well, so when you played, what type of music was played in the locker room, or was there any music played?
Huh? What? Somebody say something? No. Yeah, it was rock and roll. You know, the latest hits and all that. They usually had on a station, or sometimes on the road they would have a tape, you know, or a CD, and put on various artists and all that.
Did you guys? Were you able to pick out your music?
We didn't think about it. The clubhouse guy usually put it on, and that was that. But now the Latin players, they're probably I know they're listening to a lot of Latin music. And
Tian, what did Tian listen to? Like
Tian,
Ricky Ricardo music? What did he listen to?
Yeah, exactly. No, Louis, he listened to what we listened. When I broke in, we didn't have the headphones like they do now with phones and everything, so they can get music, the music they want. Was on the radio, and that was it. Whatever was playing was playing. We didn't think much about it. You know what I mean? It didn't inspire us.
Now, don't some teams, correct me if I'm wrong, Derek and Joe, you may know this, Louis, don't some teams, the players actually pick out their intro music when they step up to the
walk-up music, yeah.
Walk-up
That's
music,
what I know.
right?
Well, Rico, what would your walk-up song been?
I think it was the Grateful Dead. I'll never return, something like that. No, I don't even know it.
You guys didn't have that, though, did you?
Yeah, what's his name? What's the guy who played for the Bruins and the Red Sox? John Kiley was there, and then after John
played the organ.
That's what it said. Walk-up music.
Yeah, but I'm saying today players have their own customized walk-up music, a song.
Yeah, well, we didn't have our own customized.
Right. All right, let's get to our good friends here. Derek, let's talk first of all. What do you have for auctions coming up? Number one, and then we'll get into some topics. What do you got for auctions?
So we have our May catalog, which is cards and memorabilia, May 15th to the 17th. And then we have our July card auction, tickets and cards, wax, in July. I think it ends mid-July, starts in June. Then we have, our August Platinum Night, which we start to build around this time, and we'll have it on display at the National Convention. And there will be, several multi-million-dollar pieces. It's going to be, if not the best, one of the top 3 best booths in the National. A lot of people say it's the best booth in the National. We really the team does a great job getting that together. So that's coming around the corner. I mean, it's here before you know it.
Hey, Joe? Derek, are you sorry that you didn't go to Toronto to see? Well, you were going there to see the Red Sox, right?
Wait, I am going to Toronto.
Yeah, but you're not going to see the Red Sox.
Well, I know. I thought you were going, and you decided not to go because you were going to be on the show.
Going on, you know what? That's one of our best shows. Believe it or not, it's the Goldin guys will be up there, but with no Joe T.
No Joe T.
Joe,
you don't go that far, huh? Well, they won't let you into the country.
His travel companion Tony doesn't go out of the country, so he has to, he's going to stay around here.
But this bad hip, Tom, I'm not going anyway.
Oh,
Joe, by the way, yeah, but Joe, what's going on with Goldin? What do you got for auctions coming up?
Well, we have our alleged exalted USA 250 auction coming up.
Nice.
So Ken put together a special, one-of-a-kind auction, celebrate our country's 250th anniversary. And lot number 1 is one of the early copies of the Declaration of Independence.
Wait a minute. So is it all kinds of memorabilia?
Oh, yeah. So obviously anything presidential, anything political, Washington, Lincoln, Franklin. We got that early copy of the Declaration, one in the course of human events.
So you're talking Revolutionary War.
The opening bid's $1 million. It's expected to go for like $2-3 million.
Wait a second. Hold on. Let's take a step back here. So you have items from the Revolutionary War, correct?
Just relics from everywhere. I mean, it's Americana, Frank Sinatra, Marilyn Monroe,
so
Thomas Edison.
What about a really nice piece of glazed pottery from the Potter's house
Here we go.
in Merrimackport, Massachusetts?
Nope, doesn't cut it.
I'm going to pass.
Do you have Thomas Jefferson in your top 10? That's all I want to
He
know.
wrote him and Madison wrote the Constitution, Lou. So yes,
I know.
Rico, come on, man, help me, Rico. Help me ramrod one of my pieces of pottery from my home in the 1700s right into their auction. No shot.
Tom, Your pottery is irrelevant in this discussion, Tom.
All right.
Then we have Goldin 100 starting late May, ending late June. And we have my vintage auction, again, starting late May, ending late June, with the headliner being a beautiful PSA 8 52 Topps mantle.
Let's talk about the 52 Topps mantle. Another overrated card.
Here we go.
How can it be overrated when it's everybody's present day Wagner?
Exactly.
How many exist? How many exist? How many are in existence?
A lot. But do you know when we got that Mantle 9.5, it went viral. The amount of people that lined up around the showcase for me they wanted to take a picture from kids, every race, every gender, everybody, 3 years old to 90 years old, formed a line to hold the card of a Mickey Mantle 52 Topps. It's really just so iconic. I mean, it has to change your mind if you weren't going in saying 52 Mantle is the king of cards.
So let me ask you this question, both of you guys. Actually, Rico, you too. Is the whole 52 Mantle mystique a result of Alan Rosen's find?
It's part of
It's
part of the equation. Yeah.
I know as a grader, when I have one of those cards, the Rosen find cards strike you differently.
And by the way, that was the 9.5 was a Rosen find.
It was a Rosen find card, yeah.
Right.
And when you get one, it's just different.
Tom, you don't realize how loved Mantle was.
Yeah.
Well,
I learned that.
There was just something about him. His humility. He was like a country boy, but just I don't know what it was. I mean, the charisma was the love of Mantle. I mean, when he was on.
I can see that, Rico. All kidding aside, I mean, I've seen that my whole life, and he was a very charismatic guy. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean,
Tom, I think part of that mystique, and I think Rico would agree, it's his majestic home runs. No one could hit a ball as hard and as far as Mickey Mantle. Or the lighter bats, physics has proven, bat speed, more important than density and weight with driving a baseball, tighter wound baseballs, no high-tech conditioning programs back in the 50s and 60s. We don't have nearly the technology we have now. Aaron Judge has not hit a 500-foot homer in an official MLB game. And look at him. Look at the size of him. Look at his strength. Mantle hit over 10 balls. Documented, not speculation, like Steve Lane was saying. 30 rows back into the black backdrop in the center field bleachers. You don't need a tape measure. The balls went over 500 feet. So, yeah, I think that mystique really assisted in this aura of Mickey Mantle, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Rico, what was the longest? What was the longest you? Do you know what the longest you ever hit a home run was? Honestly,
yeah. All right, I'll be honest with you. Detroit, I hit it was 420 to center field. I hit a ball in the upper deck just to the left of that. You know how it goes around, and right in the part where it starts to go straight across. That I hit one there. I don't know how it went.
Who was the pitcher, Rico?
I really don't remember. I think it was a relief pitcher. And I just
so what is so you're talking to what, 430?
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah.
Wow, that's a shot.
Yeah, I mean, but the guys today, I think Judge is one of the best. See, to me, and they haven't taken advantage of it, Joe, because he's charismatic. This guy is just a great kid. I mean, everybody loves him in New York.
Yeah,
he's so
yeah. And you look, it's funny, Rico. You look at Judge's stats; they're superior to Ohtani.
Oh,
Everyone says Ohtani.
Yeah.
Judge's batting numbers are far superior to Ohtani.
No, he's a great player.
They're both Hall of Famers. I mean, period.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right, listen, before we end this week, and by the way, these two gentlemen are going to be with us next week. Very, very happy. Let's talk about the Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Lou, you want to do this?
The Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., who is the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management. Tom covers every aspect of your collectible insurance needs. Unlike some of the companies that sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend John Tobby of JT Sports has been using Finkelmeyer Insurance to insure his bats for over 20 years. For more information, go to the FIA, that's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
All right, listen, we're just about out of time. Rico, thank you for joining us, my friend. Rick, I'm going to be in Florida this next week.
Oh,
so,
that's right. Yeah. Have a safe trip and have a good time.
We'll see you. We'll see you when we get back the week after next. You guys are going to be with us next week. Joe and Derek are going to be with us next week, which really behind the scenes is going to be in about an hour. Not even. We're going to tape the next show.
Why do you tell secrets?
Because you got something. You've got to be upfront with your audience. You have to be upfront.
Right.
Now, I was even going to change. I was going to change my wardrobe, but I decided against it.
Oh, are you going to wear the same thing?
I am going to. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided. All right, we're out of here. To our viewers and listeners,
go to YouTube and find us the next episode.
I'm sorry.
I'm telling Tom. I'm telling Mike, who's watching us, to go to a YouTube and find the next episode, which will be live in about 10 minutes. That's
right. That being said, we love you guys, and
secrets out.
Happy collecting.
Happy collecting. Happy birthday. All right, I'm out of here.